Kevin Costner eventually speaks the truth about Whitney Houston when he is 70. Kevin Michael Costner was born. Kevin Michael Costner was born on January 18, 1955, in Linwood, California. Costner was raised in a middle-class household that emphasized hard effort, honesty, and sticking with things, all of which would have a big impact on his life. He was the youngest of 3 kids and moved a lot around California because of his father's business. These moves helped him become more adaptable and resilient, which would come in handy later in the unpredictable world of Hollywood. Costner didn't always want to be an actor, but he had a hidden love for sharing stories and performing. He had a strong sense of who he was and where he was long before he ever walked in front of a camera. He loved athletics, poetry, Western books, and music. Costner didn't become famous overnight. It took hard work and dedication. He graduated from California State University, Fullerton, with a degree in business. After that, he wanted to become an actor, even though he didn't have any money or job stability. He worked a lot of odd jobs, including driving trucks and providing factory tours, to pay for his acting classes and auditions. In the middle of the 1980s, he had a big break when movies like The Untouchables (1987) and No Way Out (1987) showed off his charm, consistent screen presence, and ability to exhibit quiet strength. These shows showed people the kind of hero that Costner was great at playing: principled, modest, morally sound, and very human. Kevin Costner made movie history in 1990 with Dances with Wolves, which he acted in, directed, and produced. A huge project that a lot of people in the business thought would fail. It became a cultural landmark instead. The movie won 7 Academy Awards, including Best Picture and Best Director. It also brought the Western genre back to life when it was almost gone from Hollywood. Costner showed not just his creative vision, but also his deep appreciation for the American frontier, Native American civilizations, and stories that come from nature through this endeavor. It made him known as both a great actor and a filmmaker with big dreams. Costner kept making a wide range of notable works throughout the 1990s and 2000s. Field of Dreams and A Poetic Meditation on Family, Baseball, and Redemption are 2 of the most popular movies in American history. He showed how versatile he was in JFK, Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, The Bodyguard, and Tin Cup, where he played historical figures, romantic leads, and imperfect athletes looking for purpose. Costner stayed true to his values of honesty, emotional depth, and a strong sense of location and purpose, even when his movies took creative risks or had mixed reviews. Costner has made a big comeback on TV in the last few years, especially with the blockbuster show Yellowstone. Costner's portrayal as John Dutton, the stoic patriarch protecting his family's land and tradition, reminded spectators why they had adored him for so long. The show gave him a new group of fans and showed that he was still the best at playing the Western frontier archetype, a part that seems like it was made just for him. He plays a character that is wise, tough, vulnerable, and determined, which are all elements that have been important in his career. Kevin Costner is more than just a famous person in Hollywood. He is also a passionate musician who has found a distinct place for himself in the world of country rock. As the creator and leader of the band Kevin Costner and Modern West, he has shared his passion of music with people all over the world by mixing the storytelling heart of country with the intensity and grit of rock. Costner has been in charge of the band since it started, and they have made 4 albums, each one showing a distinct side of his artistic sensibilities. Their first album, Untold Truths 2008, showed listeners a side of Costner that wasn't often shown on the big screen. Their second album, Turn It On 2010, had a more polished, radio-ready sound. After that, From Where I Stand 2011 included very intimate lyrics and melodies, and their most ambitious album, Famous for Killing Each Other. The music from, and inspired by Hatfield's and McCoy's 2012, is strongly related to Costner's cinematic storytelling, which makes his music sound like historical drama in a powerful way. He has performed his music live at many occasions, not just on records. His shows are loved by both longtime admirers and new ones. But Costner is creative in more ways than only on stage. He showed how versatile he is by participating in 5 movies in 2014 alone, in a different genre. This is just one more reason why he is still one of Hollywood's most lasting and adaptable performers. That year, people saw him in the political action thriller Jack Ryan, Shadow Recruit, the suspenseful spy drama 3 Days to Kill, the emotional sports drama Draft Day, the touching family drama Black or White, and the interesting documentary, The Man Who Saved the World. Every job showed a distinct side of his talent, from fast-paced action scenes to subtle emotional performances, proving that Costner is just as dynamic on screen as he is on stage. Costner kept taking on tough and memorable parts that showed off his acting abilities throughout the next few years. In the movie McFarland, USA, 2015, as a passionate high school coach who changes the lives of his kids through track and field, he inspired viewers. In the 2016 movie Hidden Figures, which got a lot of praise, he played a NASA Space Task Group leader who had both power and empathy in a key supporting role. In 2017's Molly's Game, he played a clinical psychologist who was both subtle and authoritative. Costner took on the role of a Texas Ranger in Highwaymen 2019, which added to his tough, famous image and gave the neo-Western story a feeling of weight and truth. Costner starred in the neo-Western thriller Let Him Go in 2020. The movie not only showed off his star power, but it also got good reviews and made over $11.6 million, proving that he can still attract audiences even after decades in the business. Kevin Costner is still a creative and charming person, whether he's doing music or movies, poignant dramas or action-packed thrillers. A real entertainer with skills in every area of the arts. Kevin Costner's life changed in a big way in 1975, when he started dating Cindy Silva, a fellow student at California State University, Fullerton. Silva was well liked by her classmates for her warmth, friendliness, and attention to her studies. She rapidly became an important source of emotional support and stability for the young Costner, who at the time was still unsure about his future and hadn't yet decided to become an actor. Their connection grew stronger over time because they shared beliefs, encouraged each other, and felt like they were partners in a way that was quite mature for their age. After 3 years of growing up together, facing the obstacles of young adulthood, and helping each other reach their goals, Costner and Silva got married in 1978. This was the start of what would become one of the most famous couples in Hollywood. In the 1980s, during their 16 years of marriage, the pair developed a family and an image of a happy home life that was far different from the tumultuous and glamorous life that rising movie stars are commonly thought to have. In 1984, they had their first child, a girl, around the time Costner's career really started to take off. In 1986, 2 years later, they celebrated the birth of their second daughter, which made their family even more close-knit. Their son was born in 1988, making their family of 5 complete. At that time, Costner was becoming one of the most famous and profitable performers in Hollywood. Even though they looked stable on the outside, Costner's quickly rising reputation and lengthy amounts of time spent away on film sets put a lot of stress on the marriage. In 1994, after 16 years of marriage, the pair split. There was a lot of talk that Costner had started dating someone else while making the ambitious and troubled movie Waterworld. At the time, the divorce was one of the most expensive in Hollywood history. Cindy Silva got a settlement of about $80 million, which is about $153 million in 2024. This was because the pair had been married for a long time, and Costner had made a lot of money in his career. After the divorce, Costner went through a time when his love life was very unpredictable. He had a number of high-profile romances that kept his personal life in the news. He had a short but important connection with Bridget Rooney, who is part of the famous Rooney family and will marry millionaire Bill Coe. Their love led to the birth of a son in 1996, which made Costner's family even bigger. After the relationship ended, Costner went out with political activist Birgit Cunningham. Cunningham was very outspoken and had a fiery personality, which was very different from Cindy Silva's quieter, more traditional style. That same year, Costner also lived with Elle Macpherson, a supermodel who was famous all over the world. The media covered their relationship a lot since Macpherson was so famous, and the two of them look so good together. On September 25, 2004, Costner's love life finally found long-term stability again when he married Christine Baumgartner, a model and handbag designer who had been his companion for 4 years. The wedding took place at Costner's huge ranch in Aspen, Colorado. This property was a symbol of both his success and his appreciation for wide open areas that reminded him of the American West. Baumgartner-Costner had 3 more kids, 2 sons in 2007 and 2009, and a daughter in 2010. For almost 20 years, the couple seemed to have a stable and discreet family life. Baumgartner often went with Costner to premieres, parties, and award shows. But in May 2023, after years of marriage that had survived career changes, fame, and Costner's busy work schedule, especially during the height of Yellowstone, Baumgartner filed for divorce. This decision got a lot of attention because the couple had a lot of money and were well known. Their divorce was formalized on February 20, 2024. This officially ended their 19-year marriage and closed yet another chapter in Costner's long and dramatic personal life. Kevin Costner's voice has a weight that only time, grief, and retrospect can give it when he talks about Whitney Houston, especially now that he is 70. Fans have been wondering for years how close they were, how they felt about each other while making The Bodyguard, and what Costner actually thought of the young star, whose life and talent were both amazing and sad. Costner has just now, decades after they first met, felt able to talk about everything. When he does, it's evident that his truth isn't about scandal. It's about respect, admiration, and a sense of duty that never went away. Costner starts by talking about the first time he thought about Whitney for the part of Rachel Marin. He recalls, "I knew she was the one before anyone else did." He talks about how the studio was uncertain if a pop star with minimal acting experience could carry a big Hollywood movie. But Costner was still very sure of himself. "She possessed something you can't teach, presence. When you gaze at her, the room goes away." He pushed her, fought for her, and wouldn't give up. He also says that Whitney was really nervous on set in the beginning of filming. He says he was stunned by how gorgeous she was. Costner says that Whitney wanted to do everything right. She was already a legend when she went in, but she still had doubts. "Her modesty made me appreciate working with her even more." He talks about how they spent long nights on set going over situations, helping her discover emotional beats, and telling her she didn't have to perform. She simply had to be, because her inherent presence was already too much. One of the most important things Costner said about her was how protective he was of her. He explains, "I wasn't just her co-star. While we were filming, I felt like her protector. I wanted her to feel safe, valued, and heard." He says that he knew about the stress she was under, the pressure of being famous, of meeting expectations, and of being one of the most powerful voices in the world. He noticed that she held it with grace, even when it was heavy. Costner also talks about how weak Whitney is, calling it a delicate contrast to her great gift. He says that people saw the diva, the celebrity, and the voice that could lift a stadium off the ground, but there was someone beneath all of that who wanted to be appreciated for who she really was, not simply for what she could do. When he talks about filming the famous "I Will Always Love You" scene, it brings back his best memories. We all knew history was happening as she performed it for the first song on site. There was no doubt. It was like seeing lightning in slow motion. Costner recalls that Whitney was worried if she had picked the appropriate key, the right words, and the right mood. But the world changed as she spoke. She didn't merely perform the song, she made it hers for good. At 70, Costner says that Whitney's death still bothers him. He murmurs softly, "I wish she had known how much she was loved." He says that his truth is not about regret or keeping things to himself, but about honoring her memory in the best manner he knows how, with honesty, love, and thanks. Whitney was a once-in-a-lifetime talent, and a once-in-a-lifetime person. And my life is better because it met hers. In the end, Costner's long-held reality isn't something that will startle you. It shows how much he cared about her and how much he admired her and how much she would always mean to him.